Hello and welcome to Decode U, learning from those who lead. A podcast started by 1 year MBA program at IIM Udaipur. I'm your host Akanksha Nikrum, representing Digital Enterprise Management and Global Supply Chain Management program. As a student at IIM Udaipur, we are really excited to bring this podcast created to share the real world stories, the stories you won't find in textbooks. We are inviting leadership from the different industries to learn from them different challenges they have faced, tough decisions they have made, which made a significant impact in the industry. Today we have Mr. Pravin Bhamare with us. We are really honored to welcome him in our first podcast of IIM. Pravin Bhamare is a mechanical engineer by training. Then he worked in the diverse industries from oil and gas, manufacturing, and then currently in digital transformation. His journey is a powerful reminder that true values will never go out of sight. So, without wasting our time, let's dive into the discussion. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So, as you are here for the TCS, apart from TCS, I personally wanted to ask you some questions related overall your life. How was your journey? So, let's dive in.
Sure. Thank you.
So, the first question is, sir, you are in TCS from like 19-20 years. So, what motivated you that you kept that same organization from this long range?
Sure. Thank you. I am with TCS for last 19 years, which I'll be completing on 28th of August, which is next month. This 19 years of journey has been as good as changing 19 different companies. I was lucky and privileged to get into various roles while working with TCS. I joined TCS as an SAP consultant, worked into multiple modules, played various roles like SAP consultant, module lead, project lead, transition manager, SAP sales, pre-sales, technology excellence group, then moved into leadership roles, customer facing roles, and every time either I am working, well, I'm a global delivery head for last 10 years, but I have been managing different portfolios, different units, different technologies, and this change of roles, the opportunities available, the people, the value system of the organization has kept me going, and I never realized that I have been with this company for 19 years. It feels like 19 months or 19 days.
That's great, sir. That's insightful. And I also want to talk about, sir, I when I saw your LinkedIn profile, I saw that various industries you worked in. So what exactly that motivation is, or by accidental, what exactly behind story?
Yes, the story is very interesting. I, if I look at my 29 or 30 years of a career, close to 3 decades of a career, none of the change was a planned change. So it's not that I wanted to change the job and I got into new job. They were all, I would say, accidental or unintentional changes. The offers were so attractive I could not refuse. And that's how I ended up changing these jobs. If I have to give you a couple of examples, for example, when I was working with my first industrial company, which was into pesticides manufacturing, I accompanied one of my colleague who wanted to appear into walk-in. And with the 6 months of experience, to my surprise, with all luck, and the way I answered, was able to create good impression, which is very important. First impression lasts for a long. If your first impression is not right, then it takes very long time to get that corrected. So that's how actually even during that change, while there was no intention to appear for interview, with my friend I appeared for interview. But when I went there, because it being walk-in, there was so much of a crowd. And because I was not intending to change the job, I offered my friend, let's go and watch a movie. We watched a movie. And on the way back, we just wanted to test Boss, you were eagerly looking for a job. Let's go and check. And the guy was announcing Pravin Bhamare, and just few minutes of interview, and I got in. And I spent almost significant amount of time, 6.5 years. That is the place where I learned what is leadership. That is the place where I learned how to take care of our teams, our employees. That is the place where I learned about never say no. That is the place where I learned about nothing is impossible. You can do whatever you decide to do, provided you create a good team with you, provided you be a leader, lead by examples. Nothing is impossible. We have done so many wonders. As time permits, I will share my details when I
Sure,
talk to the students in detail.
sure, definitely. The following question is, sir, what one key advice you want to give to all the leaders, aspiring leaders, so that, example, you came from the different various industries background. So, what one key advice that is constant among all of these different changes in your life?
Be you, be yourself. That's most important. Take care of yourself the way when you are in a flight, right? And the very first instruction comes in is in case of emergency, the oxygen mask will come down. First, you apply oxygen mask on your face before helping others, right? Otherwise, neither you'll be able to help others nor yourself. So it's very important. As a leader, you need to take good care of yourself in terms of physical and mental health. Once you are fit mentally and physically, you will be able to deliver what is expected. You will be able to lead by example, set the teams. Believe me, if you put your 200%, look at the opportunities with open eyes rather than looking at only negatives of the opportunities. Be it any industry, you will be able to get into details of it, and you will be able to build the stronger teams which will be with you, because you alone will not be able to complete everything. Leaders are not, Leadership is not only about doing by self, it is about inspiring others. That will not come with designation and roles. Throughout my 3 decades of work experience, most of the places either I was too junior, so many seniors working under me, or most of the places I had lowest designation among others. But then it is all about the culture, friendliness, the way creating interest among team towards achieving the common goal for the organization, ensuring there is no gap between the team and the leader has helped me do well, is what I believe.
Absolutely correct. Uh, Completely, I'm agree with you. Sir, follow-up question. I think everyone is talking about nowadays. Everyone is talking about digital transformation, AI, ML. So, how much is it important on your perspective, like on manufacturing sector, digital transformation, and SAP, all ERP software? How much it is needed right now, so that students, in what depth students should learn it, particularly MBA students?
Good. See, any leader, unless until you are leading by example, right? If someone just puts on your head who has no background of the domain, no background of the technology, and you ask that person to lead the teams or lead the transformation engagements, for him or her, it is going to be challenging. So it's very important. As a leader, we build the foundation, we dirty our hands by understanding the technologies. I don't mean that you just every day go and dirty your clothes, but whenever is needed for you to learn, if it requires you to make your hands dirty, you should not be ashamed of. Initially, when I joined the industry, was carrying that ego that I am the engineer. My job is to get the work done by the technicians or the workers in the field. But Once upon a time, there was an emergency. My manager came and he said, Praveen, are you not able to look at the level of brine going down? I said, yes, I'm waiting for my helper to come and pull the drum, which is not here, and load the brine. He said, by that time, this plant will blast. Neither you will exist, nor this plant will exist. That manager himself started pulling the drum. And because he being senior to me by age, that's where I learned. He started pulling the drum and then I started supporting him. So that was the day one when I realized, and he took good class of me for about an hour, not by scolding me or shouting at me, but he was silently telling me why he pulled while he is a chief manager of the plant and why it's important for us to dirty our hands rather than carrying arrogance of the role or educational qualifications. So I strongly believe in that and I have been following it from that day.
That's nice. That's very insightful. Sir, one more question I have is like, as a global delivery head for manufacturing, what does what does your like day-to-day work look like as a delivery head?
So as a delivery head, I am responsible and accountable for all the deliverables towards my customer. I need to ensure my customer's business is running 24/7. I need to ensure whatever we have committed in the contract is delivered as per contracts. I need to ensure I go beyond what is committed to customer to ensure I am delighting my customers. Unless until I am going extra mile and delivering extra value for my customers, for my teams, for my organization, only doing what is contracted is not enough in today's world because every competitor will do that, every supplier will do that, every partner will do that, right? So in terms of my role, I need to ensure I develop all required skills, identify the needs of the skill gaps among the teams. Rather than going to market and recruiting as a one channel, I need to work on which all are the alternate channels. From sourcing perspective, I need to ensure I plan for the attrition cases, retention, aspiration, future growth of the unit so that I can do rotations, help my teams with. So all the future strategic planning, all the future business needs, I need to ensure whatever new proposals we are writing, I review it thoroughly, apply my learnings, and help with the best proposal for the customer which delivers value, right? That's one part on sales side. On team side, I talked about day in, day out. I need to ensure whatever my quarterly plans are, yearly plans are in terms of numbers like revenue, cost, margin, investments, whatnot. That also I am responsible, accountable for. I need to ensure I have a succession planning for all senior leaders. I need to ensure whichever new technologies are coming in, what all are their applications, whichever projects, transformation engagements we have done, we plan their uh, playbacks for larger unit. At the same time, we learn from other engagements which are successfully delivered, and all these strategic things is all part of my role. There is many more things that I do, which is difficult to explain here in
Completely.
few minutes.
Sir, one more question. Sir, what advice do you want to give to the current MBA students who are learning currently? So in the future, it will be helpful for them for the jobs, for interviews. On what perspective you're looking, what exactly you're looking in a student? That okay, this is there, this is like all what all ticks you're looking in a student.
Okay, so if I am coming here to pick up students, if I am a panel for interviewing students for my requirement, the first parameter I look at is the attitude. I don't need to look at whether the students are dressing well, communicating well. It's assumed that IIM Udaipur will take care of it, right? So basics whichever partners are checking at, I assume all those things will be in place from institutes like IIM Udaipur. But what I would be looking for, how honest you are, right? How updated you are in terms of technology, how much of practical exposure you have in terms of working on real-time, real-life case studies, and not only working on real-life case studies, but how are you able to articulate those in terms of what impact, what value you have added to the customer, to the organization. That is what I would look at. If someone is working hard on any transformation engagement, he or she should be equally able to articulate it. Otherwise, just doing will not help in today's world, right? So technology, of course, you need to know. And that is where, in terms of competence at our organization, we look at, I'm not sure if you have heard about T-shape. T-shape is all about you need to have breadth of high level knowledge about what all things are happening around and depth of at least one of the area wherein you are master at.
One more question. So, if you could go back and give one piece of advice to your 25-year-old yourself, like your version of 25-year-old, what it would be?
I think 25 years ago, I don't think I was privileged like you to get into an institute like this. 25 years ago, to be honest with you, I was not very clear about what I want to achieve. The only thing I was knowing was whatever I do, I put my 200%. I'll try to find out what is it that I can learn from, what is it, which are the areas where I can make an impact. So based on my experience of 3 decades roaming across globe, working with so many nationalities, what advice I would like to give for is when I was 25, I was not caring about myself, which I started few years back. I was probably more self-centered. There is no, I mean, as a youngster, that time probably I was scared of my job security, but then now I have learned job security is very only for those who are not putting their heart and soul. It is only for those who are not uh, going extra mile, who are not making impact. So I think these are the piece of advices I would give to myself or you guys. So focus, be yourself, and do your best. You
Sure,
may succeed or you may learn.
sure. Sir, having led team across the geographics, sir, what difference you think that Indian companies or Indian like Indian people have other than Europe or other countries?
Good question. This reminds me when I was in Australia and we were kicking off the project, and the country practice director was with customer. There were around 100 guys from customer and around 60 odd guys from our side. There are always cultural differences between various countries because of the background, because of the uh, condition in those countries, the way they are grown up. In all other countries other than India, when someone says yes, it means yes, it is a commitment. That is what the director told everyone. But in India, yes is like giving respect to the seniors. Whenever any senior is telling you to do something, so there are various versions of yes. So if you are overconfident, you will say, yes, I will do it. And when you think that this demand is, you'll not be able to do it, but you want to offer a respect, yes. So when you are nodding the head, and that is where one of my good friend in Australia, who was my counterpart on customer side. So whenever someone is saying yes, Pravin, this yes is like this, or this yes is like this, or what it means. Are you going to make it? So this is the first thing we need to correct. When we work with global customers, we need to be open, transparent. They would not mind if you say no and explain them why you cannot do it, rather than saying yes and not doing it. So if you need 3 days, and if someone tells you to do it in one day, typical habit in India is if your teachers are telling or if I am telling someone, they will simply say yes. But I am trying to kill that culture in my teams because everywhere, if someone says yes, then I ask them 10 difficult questions. How are you going to do it? I would need 10 days. Are you sure you will do it in one day? If yes, then what is it that I need to learn from you? And then that guy will try to make a story, and then I will have to tell them, what about this? You'll do this in one day, but what about this? What about this? Right? So don't accept yes as okay, he or she will do it. You will have to ask questions. Ensure whatever commitments you take from typically Indians, no, stakeholders or Indian associates, we literally have to be very sure. Otherwise, you ask them, can you do it Monday? They'll say yes. Monday, just before the review, he or she will call and say that, sorry, I do not have this, so I could not do this. Right? So this kind of behavior should be stopped from us because I was also saying yes when I entered into industry. So the culture of yes, sir is actually killing. And this reminds me another incident when I was working with Hindustan Inks and Resins Limited. Our plant head calls me one day. We met and then he said, Pravin, I have a question for you. You have two members in your team and I want you to keep only one. One who is aligned with you, always says yes. Second, whatever you tell him, he will always say no and give you 100 reasons why no. Which one you would like to work with? And then when I told him, I will go keep the guy who says no and the guy who is reliable, who says always yes, I will help him find out something else because he will survive, sustain anywhere by saying just yes, yes, yes in India. But the guy who is saying no is stopping me from making mistakes. The guy saying no is more worried about me. You can take this back to your parents, right? Who is scolding more? Your parents, right? Why? They are not hating you, right? They are doing that because they love you. They care about you, right? And that's how it works at workplace as well. So we have to be very careful when we work with our teams or peers. Always look at who is the person with yes, sir, and no, sir. Some guys always will have a constant anything you tell them, however positive, they will find out something negative.
So, and the last question. So, can you please give us the insights, overall insights of your whole journey or for the students?
So be open to whatever opportunities are coming your way. While it's important to list down what all are negatives, but don't make them as a block for your decision. Rather, create list of positives and negatives. If positives are more, it's no brainer. You go ahead and accept change whatever you accept. If negatives are more, then work on the negatives, which ones you will be able to handle and convert them into positives, right? That's one thing you can always do. Throughout my career, as I mentioned, all the changes that I have done, even inside TCS as well as before joining TCS, the journey from lecturer to pesticide manufacturing to printing ink manufacturing to AC manufacturing, IT, for a mechanical engineer was possible because of the openness. And even while working with TCS, I was able to work into oil and gas, I was working into energy, I was able to work into utilities, service, managed services, I was able to work into manufacturing for a very long time, and particularly the luxury car manufacturing segment for a very long time. But in terms of technology as well, while I have spent significant amount of time in SAP, I have also handled leadership role in terms of handling complete IT systems in between for 3 4 years. Now I am handling complete enterprise solutions. All these opportunities on the way, I have always taken which are the positives and how can I convert those negatives into positives and what all learnings I can have, and always try to link those learnings from one industry sector to other. For example, why can't we have similar log maintenance system what we had into manufacturing plant for IT to improve the productivity, and it best practices from one industry applying them into other is what I learned again at Microinks, 6.5 years where I worked. One of our director always used to roam around, look at the plants, pharmaceutical, while he was into printing ink. The kind of transformation we have done into packaging with his guidance and with his leadership is amazing. Otherwise, all our traditional competition was packing ink only into the metal tins. We did so many trials at not only packaging, but each stage of the ink manufacturing. And that has helped us grow exponentially, and it has created a kind of attitude that don't be happy with what you have. Always look for more. Like Pepsi ad, right? Mange more.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for joining here today. I'm so happy that you are here, and it will be very helpful for our whole cohort to get your insights, and also for our audience who will watch this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here, and wish you all the best for your bright futures. Very happy to be here with future leaders of our country. Thank you.